Prior to any work being done, drain the oil from the gearbox from the drain plug down below and neutralize or flush out any chemicals that's in the pump head. Hi, my name is Tim Fagan from Neptune Chemical Pump. I'm the service manager, and today we're going to go through the removal of the valve stack in a 560 series pump. With the 560 series, when you remove the valves, you don't have to remove your piping. Your piping comes out horizontally, and you can access your valves through your top discharge and your bottom suction without disturbing your piping. And we'll show you that during the demonstration. First, we're going to take off the discharge cap. It threads off. And then you'll see the vent cap, the top hex, that also threads off. It also has an O-ring. The discharge cap also has an O-ring. You want to put this to the side. Next, we're going to take out the suction cap. Threads off just like the discharge. You'll notice that there's a loose screen that sits up on top along with an O-ring just like the discharge part. We'll put that to the side. Now we're going to remove the valve stack from the head. Valve stack includes valves, valve seats, balls, O-rings. To do that, we need to push the stack from the top through the bottom. What we're going to have is we're going to have a little container at the bottom to catch the pieces when it comes down. If you have a second person with you, then they can just hold their hand down to catch the pieces. Use a dowel, PVC, plastic, something that's not really hard that's going to damage the parts. And you just want to get a rubber mallet, tap. And as you can see, all the parts have come out. Balls, seats, spacer, retainers. As you can see here, we have the orientation of how the parts go back into the pump. We have our suction cap with screen, and we have our seat, ball, and retainer, spacer, seat, ball, retainer, seat, ball, retainer, seat, ball. And you'll see here on the discharge cap, the screen is also the retainer. Then you have your discharge vent cap. You go on top here. Now when you change or replace parts, these are the parts that came out. Right here is the spare parts kit that's for this particular pump, which is a 560 series N3 pump. You get valve seats, O-rings, balls, and diaphragm. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to replace an O-ring on a valve seat. What I do is I just push up on the O-ring from the sides. You see the gap, grab, and pull off. And I'm not going to take the new O-ring out, but I'm going to show you it's very easy to put the O-ring back into the valve seat. You can do that for the rest of your valve seats. Replace your balls, seats, and O-rings. As you can see in the kit, what does not come with the kit are the retainers, the screens, the caps, the screen here, or the spacer. So keep that in mind if you need to replace other parts inside the head. Now we're going to put the head back together. Again, suction, cap with screen, goes up into the pump, thread in, okay, nice and tight. That O-ring that was replaced will go into a groove. It has a groove on both top and bottom. Now we're ready to put the stack back together. Put each part in one at a time. Your valve seat with O-ring What we typically do is we'll get a little bit of grease and we'll put it around the O-ring so you have lubrication when it goes down into the head. You put it down, it will sit on a step. What you got to do now is you got to push that seat down by tapping, and you'll feel it. You can hear it in the sound. It isn't going anywhere. Pull back out. Now we want to drop our ball in. Make sure it sits on top of the seat. Your retainer, make sure it drops all the way down over the ball. I've seen where people have dropped it in and it's caught on a step and they try to knock it in and they bend it. Please make sure each retainer is around the ball. Next is your spacer. Drop your spacer in. Same thing, make sure it goes all the way down. Now you do the same thing with the rest of the seats and balls and retainers. And actually, when you start getting closer, you can actually tap it in with your hand. You can feel it. Boom, you're down. Ball, we're down. We're good. Last valve seat, drop in. Same as the others, tap in. Ball, last ball, drop it in. Your discharge cap with screen, again your screen being your retainer. You have an O-ring there too, just like the other on the suction side, into the recessed area, and put that in, and your vent cap. Nice and tight. And that's how you switch the valve seats, balls, and O-rings in a 560 series pump.
PSG, where innovation flows.